Did you know that our brains are far more efficient in every manner than computers? Or that our brains have 100,000 miles of blood arteries, enough to round the globe 4 times? According to neurologist Marwan Sabig, MD, the brain is the most complicated entity in the world. It is the sum of all things, a soft ball-sized collection of cells, chemical and connective tissue. Neuroscientists are continually uncovering new facts about the brain that can assist physicians, scientists, and researchers in learning more about how to maximize and grow general brain functionality and boost brain capacities. Here are 10 wonderful things about your brain that you probably don't know. Welcome back to the Simply Facts YouTube channel with another informative video on your brain. Subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to make sure you don't miss any Simple Facts updates. What is the human brain, exactly? What will your response be? That is the spot that makes us think. Remain and note. Of course, it is. There are plenty more. So, first and foremost, let us define the human brain. So let's get to know the human brain first. The brain is composed of 60% fat and 40% water, as well as protein, carbs, and salts. It is made up of blood vessels, nerves, neurons, and glial cells. Gray matter and white matter are 2 distinct parts of the central nervous system, each with its own function. The cerebrum, brainstem, and cerebellum are the cerebrum, brainstem, and cerebellum. The brain is divided into 4 lobes: frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital. Each lobe is responsible for a different function, and the cerebral cortex is split into 2 halves. The brainstem, which contains the midbrain, pons, and medulla, connects the cerebrum to the spinal cord. The midbrain is a complex structure that contains neuron clusters, neuronal circuits, and other components. 4 of the 12 cranial nerves originate in the pons, and the medulla governs numerous body functions. The spinal cord runs from the bottom of the medulla to the bottom of the skull through a big hole. The cerebellum is a fist-sized region of the brain positioned behind the ear, behind the temporal and occipital lobes, and above the brainstem. Its purpose is to coordinate voluntary muscle movements and keep posture, balance, and equilibrium. The dura mater, arachnoid mater, cerebrospinal fluid, and pia mater are 3 layers of protective covering that surround the brain and spinal cord. New research is being conducted to investigate its involvement in thinking, emotion, and social behavior. Let's get back to the topic. The wow factors of human brain. Number 1 are the functions of your brain are equal to billions of microcomputers. MIT researchers implanted tiny electrodes in the dendrites of multiple neurons in a study. Dendrites are tiny, branch-like structures that transmit electrical impulses to individual brain cells. Human dendrites contain fewer ion channels per dendrite than other animals, meaning each dendrite must decide whether to deliver an electrical impulse down the chain to the neuron. This collective decision allows each neuron to act independently, much like a little computer, rather than depending on bigger structures in the brain to govern electrical activity. It is amazing to imagine having 86 billion computers in your brain to assist you in every part of your life. Our brains constantly reprogram themselves. Ever hear the idiotic phrase that parents used to use? Kids are a blank white sheet. Their minds will be programmed by what they see or hear. Obviously, it is true. If you speak English to your child, they will speak English. Conversely, if you speak French, they will speak French. Each neuron has hundreds of synapses connecting it to other neurons. Additionally, each cluster of neurons carries out certain duties and activities. Your brain will continuously try to make sure each network of connections can communicate fast in order to function properly and effectively. The process of adding new brain connections or strengthening already existing neural networks to improve learning is known as neuroplasticity. It is critical to keep pushing yourself in order to expand your knowledge base and gain new abilities. Your brain may stay happy and healthy by engaging in hobbies like studying a musical instrument, a new language, dance, ceramics, difficult crossword puzzles, or educational video games. It is critical to keep pushing yourself in order to expand your knowledge base and gain new abilities. You generate electricity in your brain. The usual amount of electricity produced by the brain is between 25 and 30 watts. The brain transmits more signals every day than all the phones combined, and it would take more than 3,000 years to count every neuron. However, these communications transmit information at a very rapid rate of 150 miles per hour or 241 km, which is extremely quick. This is why a raindrop may be felt milliseconds after it lands on your skin. Each brain region is versatile and specialized. The brain performs a range of tasks that involve cross-regional cooperation. Because of its adaptability, the brain can recover from catastrophic injury. In her book, My Stroke of Insight, Dr. Jo Bolt-Taylor describes how she recovered after losing the function of her whole left hemisphere. Visit this page to hear her episode of our podcast. Brain is filled with water. Dehydration can cause the brain to lose as little as 2% of its water content, which can cause headaches, weariness, and overall mental fog. Even if you are not severely dehydrated, drinking insufficient amounts of water might make your brain less effective. Half of the energy in your brain is used on sending and receiving messages, and water aids in the conductivity and transmission of the electrical signals required to connect with the rest of your body. Drink some water whenever you start to feel lethargic, and you'll notice an improvement in your energy, focus, and attention span. Your brain requires a lot of energy. The brain consumes more than 20% of your energy reserves, oxygen, and nutrients in order to function. This is why maintaining general excellent brain health requires a healthy diet and regular exercise. The brain is continually sending information to the heart and brain, and it is built to react quickly. Additionally, it is made to operate nearly effortlessly when necessary by memorizing particular habits and behaving automatically when necessary. This is why maintaining a balanced diet and engaging in regular exercise are so important. Your brain creates neurons at all times. The brain produces new brain cells all the time, with fetal life producing around 250,000 new neurons per minute. The process of creating new neurons slows down after birth. Yet the brain keeps creating new neurons until it quits functioning. Every day, an adult brain produces about 700 new neurons. People can learn, exercise, eat healthily, and engage in creative activities to promote brain development. According to research, aerobic exercise not only promotes general neural development, but also activates the brain's hippocampus, which controls learning, memory, and spatial awareness. The brain is overfluff. Did you know that your brain weighs roughly 3 pounds on average and is about the size of your fist? However, the organ contains around 100 billion neurons, 400 miles of blood arteries, and 1 trillion or more glial cells, which are considered to maintain and preserve neurons. Pain cannot be felt by the brain itself, although the brain includes layers of coverings and blood arteries that contain pain receptors. Beth McQuiston, MD, a neurologist and medical director of the Diagnostics Division at Abbott, notes that the brain itself has none. It's common to believe that a headache is caused by pain in the brain. However, this is not the case. However, the skin and muscles that surround the brain may sense pain. Take note of these 16 warning signals that your headache may be something more serious. Your mind is ravenous, even though it only makes about 3% of the body's weight. The brain is the most vital organ, getting 30% of the blood the heart pumps. The brain is like a selfish and demanding child, yet it is incredibly brilliant and efficient. According to Benito Malu, MD, a forensic pathologist, neuropathologist, epidemiologist, clinical professor at the University of California, Davis, and author of Truth Doesn't Have a Side. The brain responds to something and initiates an action in around 10,000th of a second. What intriguing facts about the brain do you know besides this? Please share your thoughts with everyone. We appreciate your time, and we'll see you in our next informative video.